The only difference between the first and the second, or the only difference I can see is...
One was authored by a British person.
The major line, the major stanza is, though tribe and tongues may differ, in brotherhood we stand. Is that the only thing that makes us want to go back to the first national anthem?
No, there are other things. Since we stopped singing it, I cannot sing it to you now. Otherwise, I would have brought out the salient points in that second national anthem, in contradistinction to the stanzas in the second one. I mean, it's just, if we have it here, if we had it here, I would have analyzed it. But I will find time.
It'll be interesting to see an analysis of it. But one of the things that they have decided is also, you know, one of the things they're deliberating upon is how they intend for their decisions to be adopted.
The what?
The decisions reached at the national conference, how they want it to be adopted.
Yes.
What do you think, what do you make of the debate on that?
Well,
or what would you advise would be the best way for them to adopt?
The best way is that so many recommendations have been made in the past by this conference. Now they are the tail end of the proceedings. Now all those recommendations that they made in the past, you know, sanctioned by voice votes. Oh, those people who say aye, the nays and the ayes, those recommendations that have been given must go into the report. Is there any need to vote for those reports which have been put in place in the past? Those recommendations should be, otherwise they will be doing this double job. They already did this thing before, and those things should be there. They should enter the report. If there's a new thing, no problem. But are they talking about any new thing now?
How would
apart from the evolution of powers?
How will the report move forward? That's the question. After they're done and they've agreed on many things and they've voted, and this is a report of the national conference.
Yes.
What do they do with it?
What do they do with it?
How do they ensure it's not a wasted...
Oh, okay, now that's a different question, and it's a very beautiful one, if I may say so. That has always been the problem. Because at the beginning, in this forum, I did say that that was going to be a problem. Because they could talk 19 to the dozen on any subject matter. All of those beautiful things that they should talk about, they have talked about them. Now, they have compiled a beautiful report, a tome, very big report, you know, and it's everything that you and I want in that report that is there. But at the end of the day, what becomes of the report? That is your question, and that was the question behind my back, at the back of my mind, before they started. I said, what are they going to do to it? And I suggested here, with you, you know, in front of me, that the report should be submitted to a plebiscite, to a referendum, not to be sent to the National Assembly. When it is sent to, subjected to a plebiscite or to a referendum, then the entire nation, which has sovereignty over and above the sovereignty, you know, that inheres in the National Assembly, shall have said what we want of the decisions of the National Assembly.
Is it to either adopt wholly or in part?
They adopt wholly or in part, take those that they want, take those that they don't want. Subject the entire
But no
thing.
further recommendations or amendments?
Eh?
No further
recommendation or amendment thereafter, because the people have spoken. Why have they spoken? They have spoken because in terms of section 14 of the Constitution, sovereignty resides in the people. So we speak, and our voice should be the last, not the voice of any other person. Like I told you, the Constitution, they are going to discuss, they must have discussed everything about the Constitution, which will make us to set up a constituent assembly, now which the National Assembly has no power to do. So let the people speak after this, when this report comes out.
So who has the power to set up this?
The president has it. See, the president can, you know, the entire nation is his constituency. Whereas each of the lawmakers at the Senate or House of Representatives has its own narrow area called constituency.
So he is the one that can set it up?
Yes, the federal government. The federal government.
I actually wanted to bring this to you before we leave, and it's from Egwando Tune. He says we should ask you that, well, he is an Akiri man.
Yes.
That please tell Mr. Akiri that 13% is enough. Our leaders and governors in the Delta, in Niger Delta, well, can do with the 13% if they really want to work. That's what he thinks. And I'm trying to narrow this when we talk about derivation to what you wrote in your book, the way it is, part 2, page 175. You were asking a question, who is a Nigerian nationalist?
Yes.
So if we say we are agitating for resource control for regions, does that mean that, well, there are no more nationalists in the country as we speak?
You see, first of all, let me say that because of my profession, my type of profession, I don't always believe, you know, people who, I mean, this man says he's an Akiri person. I have my doubts. First of all, he may very well be from Yobe State, and he says he's an Akiri person. But be that as it may, I don't think they're even talking of resource control. They've gone beyond that. If they talk of between 18%, 21%, 25%, that's not resource control. Resource control means you control everything. You get everything 100%, subject to payment of a tax or royalty to the federal government, usually 20% in other climes. That is resource control. But we are not there yet, maybe. So nobody is even talking of resource control. We're saying, okay, 13% is grossly inadequate. It can't do anything. Oh yeah, we know that maybe the governors, you know, have been more sinning than sinned against. Nobody can dispute that. They have been almost all the governors there have been more sinning than sinned against. But so are all the governors in other parts of the country. You won't tell me that there is a governor in this country who is not what do I call it, afflicted with light fingers. All of them have light fingers, taken from the treasury. Anyhow, even where there is no oil, they steal so much. Still, the treasury is dry. So, you know, salt money they are commonwealth away from this country. Let alone those people who are in the Niger Delta. They all steal. So, but even so, I am saying that 13% is. Do you know where we're coming from? In the First Republic, in the 1960 Constitution, that is Section 34 of the Independence Constitution, and Section 40 of the Republican Constitution, 1963, you know, say 50%. That's where we are coming from. You understand what I'm saying? The 1960 and 1963 constitutions, graphically put it there, 50% deriving from any mineral product or whatever, either cocoa or gold or tin and columbite from Jaws and that, 50%. Now there is mineral product in the South, and they reduce it to 0 because of the war. Then it became 1%. Then it became 3%. And now it is 13%. Why not 50%? But if they cannot go 50% now, they are still talking of 25%, that does not amount to resource control. That is just a flea bite on the kernel of water.
Where lies the spirit of nationalism?
Nationalism, you see, when you talk of, say, 25%, you still have 75%. There's nationalism in that. You have forgone 75%. The nationalists that, well, we are in the same country. We must have feelings for other people. So,
all right, we'll have to let it go, Mr. Akiri. Thank you very much indeed.
The pleasure is my own every time.
All right, we'll be back after this. We've got another matter to focus on when we return. So please join us again.